As you begin to gain mastery over the aspects of narcissistic behaviors, you strengthen your knowledge about evil and realize that they're one and the same. It all becomes clear, and what you hear about or what you've heard about in your life in horror movies and on channels that talk about human destruction and crime stories, you realize that all of the behaviors, actions that you see tie back to the things that are covered under the umbrella of narcissism, psychopathy, evil. It's all one and the same, which is the reason people begin to refer to these creatures as Satan's henchmen, demons, dark forces, etc. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, or if you are finding it useful in any way, I ask that you subscribe, comment, and like the videos to push it up in the algorithm. Others did that so you could find the channel, and it would be great for you to do the same and play it forward. And on that topic, all of you have gifts. Those who are typically ensnared by a narcissistic psychopath are highly empathic people, and at a very minimum, gifted with talents. To whom much is given, much is required. And if you had the unique ability to wrap your mind around the elements of this decrepit, evil, degenerate spirit making its way throughout the world, you have a talent for detail orientation and should consider utilizing your natural abilities to play it forward as well. If you're a singer, if you're a writer, if you're a teacher, if you're a content creator, whatever it is that you are good at in the world, whether it makes you money or doesn't, consider using that skill to amplify what you've learned about this disorder. It is important for other genuine souls to be educated and aware of this diabolical disease that has plagued our world since the dawn of man. Had you known about it from the start, you would have been better equipped to navigate what you've gone through and potentially prevented some of the destruction. Because as we know, there's no way to be entangled with a narcissist and for the outcome to not be destructive. The narcissist horribly affects your life, destroys relationships, not only that you have or had with other people, but with yourself, more importantly. Most people who have been subject to a narcissist's demonic behaviors end up in very dire straits. Their health takes a massive hit. Their careers, their finances, their stability of life, their places of residence, their homes, their businesses. The narcissist is there to kill, steal, and destroy, just like the Bible tells us, KJV. And we must take this information and do something with it. It was beyond my interest or even wildest dreams that I would be putting words to what I've been through. I'm a very private person, generally speaking. Never even dawned on me to create a presence online, especially something as long-lasting as a YouTube channel, to talk about this stuff. There are so many content creators out there, especially over the last 2 to 3 years, that have emerged. Prior to that, it was very scanty. When I was learning that my spouse was a malignant narcissist, it took me a very long time. It took me about 2 years to unpack what I was dealing with. Because at first I was in complete denial. I didn't even want to believe the things I was reading. It was so scarce. There wasn't a lot of information out there. And the information I did get was so dramatic. I thought, there's no way I could be in this, whatever this is. This sounds exactly like psychopathy, right? So it was hard to understand. It was so nuanced. There were all these terms I'd never heard of. But then you learn, as you know, and you get it, and you realize that not only were you in a deep, intimate, familial, parental, or spousal relationship with a narcissist, but this plague has been in your life for much longer than you even understood. Narcissism is the spirit of evil. And when you are a chosen one, when you are anointed, when you are a genuine, authentic soul, the enemy stays after that ass. Just as the KJV tells us, just as Christ told us it would. We have to put on the full armor of God every day and walk throughout our lives conscientious and conscious of knowing that this thing is out there, and the way that we counteract it is through God the Father, who protects us. The gift that He's given to those of you who have been able to understand the nuances of narcissistic psychopathy is discernment. You see, it's one thing to read a book or read an article or hear a story and hear terms and memorize them. It's a whole different thing to understand a thing. And unless you've been through or are in the narcissistic dynamic, no one can say that they understand. While most people have engaged with evil throughout life, most do not understand it like you do. What does it look like when you understand it? Well, at first, there's likely fear, despondence, bewilderment. You can feel very alone and not know where to turn next. But if you make it out of that period, you put one foot in front of the other, just like those did hundreds and thousands of years ago before it had the label narcissist, right? They're in highly toxic, abusive, destructive situations. And some made it out, some didn't. And those who did had to put on their pants one leg at a time, take steps forward, and figure it out. When you lean on the Lord, you're not figuring it out by yourself. There's a strength there. You may be in one of the worst places that you've ever been, or you may be far beyond that. But you're on the healing journey if you're here. And it can be a tough space to be in. It can be hard to figure out what to do next. But as you keep going, you begin an internal victory over the thing. Because once you understand how narcissism works and moves, you're able to anticipate things before they happen, and thus you're able to protect yourself, right? That's the discernment that we all hear about so much. As you get stronger, what will happen is the everyday interactions you used to have will look very different. You will physically on the outside still be you, but inside of you birthed a maturity, a manhood, or a womanhood that simply didn't exist prior to this knowledge. You literally grow up. That strength, it's almost like an invisible shield around you as you walk throughout the world. And where before you used to be delicious prey and attract these beings, you will attract them far less. It's like you'll be like a mosquito repellent. You will repel them. And the few that do try to penetrate that field will fuck around and find out. Because the you that would permit the kind of bullshit that allowed you to go down the horrendous path that you did in the past is no longer. The creature will try to penetrate. They will try to manipulate. They will try to control you. And this goes for people in your family, friends, the cashier at the grocery store. It will come in all kinds of different ways, the trial. But this time, they won't get through. And your response, your calm, and you're seeing right through them will make them turn away. Conversely, you will begin to attract interesting, genuine, authentic souls. Those that are in your family, if they exist, will be drawn to you as you go about your life and day, school, work. They will be drawn to you, which will make narcissists in earshot very jealous and create other dynamics. But you have the tools to deal with that. This is how you attract genuine love. Hope that helped. Do your shadow work.